Hello, my name is Andrea Kashanipour, and I am a Canadian ceramic artist living in Tucson, Arizona. I was kindly asked by Arts by Artists to talk about my art and my background, so here it goes. I grew up in Canada for a little while and then moved to the United States and moved all over the United States as a child. I was exposed to a lot of art very young in age. I had one grandmother who had a significant Canadian art collection, and my great aunt is a famous Canadian painter. Her name is Prudence Heward. And so going to that grandmother's house, she had beautiful antiques and beautiful artwork. And then I also had another grandmother whose house was filled with kitschy trinkets and funny oil paintings and portraits of her children done by local artists. And the difference between the two houses was night and day, but I appreciated both aesthetics, the high-end art and then also the low-end art of everyday objects that you would see around a common middle-class home, like glass grapes on a table or ashtrays with 1960s style flowers painted in them. And I think by being at those two homes as a young child, I have those aesthetics imprinted on my brain. I was also a kid who spent a lot of time coloring and making things from whatever I could find around my house, stuff like that. Because we moved around a lot, I had a lot of time by myself to color and draw and paint and make things, and I have a lot of experience making all different kinds of art. I went to college and became an art teacher, and to teach art you have to take all of the art classes, so it fit my childhood very well. I took one of everything. I took jewelry and fiber arts and printmaking, watercolor, painting, everything. But now I feel like ceramics is where I was supposed to be. I've tried all kinds of art. I've taught all kinds of art, and ceramics feels like the best way for me to really get into the space that I want to as an artist, the headspace and the message that I want to send as an artist. My biggest influences in art, like I said before, seeing my great aunt's artwork and those of her peers in my grandmother's home, Prudence Heward and her friends Mabel Lockerbie, Nora Collier, just to name a few, all women of the Beaver Hall group. They were very significant artists of their time. They were very underrepresented as women artists at their time. And I kind of knew that as a child growing up, and I kind of got a bee in my bonnet about it. And I thought, well, if they can do it, I can. Even though I was not encouraged to be a full-time artist as a child, as many of us are not. The other influence I really enjoy as an artist is I really enjoy folk art. I enjoy early ceramic art pieces, especially figurines or useful items from ancient cultures. I love Japanese ceramics. And also, I really find that illustration is inspiring to me, even though I am not myself an illustrator. Right now, I am focusing on creating items that are interactive and have an element of soothing or play that use concepts and ideas from childhood, fantasy play, imaginative play. I'm trying to move away from making everyday items to making more fine art pieces. I've also been doing more artwork with raku firings and alternative kinds of firings instead of just using my kiln. The biggest challenge of being an artist, oh boy, where do I even start? I'm sure everybody says financial. It is really hard to quit that day job and say, I'm going to try and do this. The pay is unpredictable, and sometimes, you're struggling, and sometimes it's caviar, and sometimes it's beer. So I would say that's probably the most generic answer I could give you and the most expected answer I could give you, along with the business side, trying to be a business person. When you're really an artist, that's it's never good. Technology, a challenge, yeah, all those things. Pretty predictable answers. The other challenge I faced as an artist is the cute factor. I make a lot of items that people consider cute, and as a student of art, I was always taught by my professors and mentors that cute was a 4-letter word, and cute doesn't really have a place in the high art world. So that's also been a challenge for me. As I've grown older, I have cared less and less about what other people think, and so I make a lot of cute stuff, and I don't care anymore. All right, what advice would I give my younger self? Don't listen to other people. Don't listen to other people telling you that you can't do the thing that you want to do. Just do the thing that you want to do. Try and make it work. That would be my best advice to my younger self. It's advice that I still give myself today. I don't give up. There is no clear path to being a fine artist. People can tell you so many things about their experience, but nobody has the exact same experience in the art world. We have crossovers and similarities, but I have yet to meet somebody who has had the same experience as I have. So don't listen to what other people say, and don't give up, and don't even let yourself talk yourself out of it. Everything that I do is trial and error. So this question is, have you ever tried any unconventional mediums or techniques? Everything I do is trial and error. I have this very basic art education degree, art studio background. So I was taught to do some of everything, but not a lot of one thing. So pretty much everything that I make is trial and error. I learn a lot by being around other ceramic artists. I learn a lot by being around other artists and seeking out opportunities to continue learning. But as far as trying unconventional mediums and techniques, everything I do is trial and error, so everything is kind of unconventional. I'm kind of making it up as I go along. Most of my tools when I first started were things you would find around the house, like safety pins and bobby pins and lids from pens and markers, lids from yogurt containers, things like that. I still use those items. nothing really beats a paper clip for doing certain textures and designs on clay sometimes. I have a favorite marker lid that makes a perfect flower if I stamp it into my clay. So I think it's just being open to trying things is what would be my unconventional, or I don't know, a technique. It's not really a technique. It's just trying trial and error. Trial and error. Okay, do I have things I listen to while I'm working? Let's see. I listen to music a lot while I work, depending on what mood I'm in. Jazz. I like jazz a lot because there's no words. But I also listen to a lot of old school hip hop and 80s alternative music. I also really love audiobooks, and so I listen to a lot of books while I'm working. I don't get a lot of time to read as much as I would like to because of my chaotic family and daily life. So it's nice to listen to books instead of missing out on them because I don't have time to read, or I'm so tired I can't read. Here, what is the best reaction someone has had to my artwork? I really just sometimes I'll get reviews online where people explain that how much joy something that I have sent to them brings them, or that it makes them smile every time they walk by. I think that's probably just the best reaction that I can get, is that I know that when somebody picks up something that I've made, or they walk by it, or they see it in their home, it's like a little wink or like a smile. It makes them think it's funny or cheeky when they walk by it. I did once have a student who refused to leave my art class when I was a teacher, and she ended up peeing her pants and didn't make it to the bathroom because she didn't want to leave art. And I feel like that also was probably hands down the best reaction anybody's ever had to being around me as an artist or as a teacher. What I hope people take away from my artwork is a shared moment of how absurd our physical life is and how not to take it seriously. There's so much about our lives that is funny, about the natural life, the natural world, animals, people, situations we find ourselves in, the use of everyday objects. Things can be cute, things can be funny, things can be clever. If I can get people to smile and have a little connection with them in that clever moment of, let's not take this too seriously, let's embrace humanity a little bit for its faults and also for its beauty, I think that's what I would like people to take away. I believe that concludes the questions that I've been asked to answer. I'd like to thank Art by Artists so much for inviting me to talk about myself and join this project. Goodbye.